Robert Saleh, who is on his way to an interview or is interviewing with them right now as we speak. He left earlier today the second interview with the Jets. We know he's also been linked to the Detroit Lions. Yeah. You've had plenty of news on him, and he's one of the well-regarded defensive coordinators around the league and a guy who is more than likely going to land a head coaching spot somewhere. So, when you look at a guy like Saleh, who is considered one of the favorites for the Jets job, we don't know for sure, right? Because he did leave the building without, any offer that we know of, going to talk to the Eagles in the mix in Detroit. But the Jets situation doesn't make a whole ton of sense on the surface level, because you have a quarterback in Sam Darnold who is considered possibly a franchise quarterback. We've heard the rumors from you and our own Ben Albright saying that Douglas may prefer to keep Darnold and would like to trade out of that second pick to see what kind of assets he can get. You bring in a defensive guy like Saleh, you have to bring in a strong offensive coordinator. The Jets want a CEO-type coach. I don't know if Saleh is that kind of guy. Don't you want an offensive-minded head coach to be coming in? Because if Darnold has success under a strong offensive coordinator, well, isn't that offensive coordinator then going to leave for a head coaching job, and then you're kind of taking a step backward that next year?
I don't agree with that for a couple of things. Let's go back to Robert Saleh and the CEO coach. That's what they've been saying in the media. That's what a lot of the Jet beat writers have said. Go back a couple of months ago. What I said was the Jets were going to be looking for the alpha dog type of coach, that strong personality, that real leader, that disciplinarian. I think Saleh checks all those boxes. Don't know that he's going to get the Jet job, but I think he checks all those boxes. As far as bringing in an offensive-oriented coach in order to turn Sam Darnold's career around, I don't necessarily agree with that, because what happens is if you bring the offensive coordinator into the head for a head job, now he's in charge of the offense. He's got to oversee the defense. He's got to oversee the roster. He's got to oversee special teams. And all of a sudden, he's spread very thin. It's worked well in Cleveland this year with Kevin Stefanski, but a lot of times it does not work all that well. I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing in a defensive-minded coach, whether it's a guy like Robert Saleh, and then bringing in an offensive coordinator basically to work one-on-one with Sam Darnold, because honestly, that's probably what Sam Darnold needs right now. You bring up a good point. If that offensive coordinator does wonders with Sam Darnold, he's eventually going to get a head coaching job somewhere else or offers for a head coaching job. You would assume that. But then you got people underneath them, receivers coach or other assistants underneath them who you could maybe step into that position of the new offensive coordinator. I've never thought that, you have to bring in an offensive-minded head coach if you're drafting a quarterback to bring him along, because the head coach is in charge of a lot more than just developing the quarterback.
That is a good point. One of our viewers put here, look at Flores in Miami, and, it's not like defensive coaches have not had success anywhere they've gone. That is a true point. My thought process was, because the Jets may want to heavily invest in Sam Darnold, that it may make more sense to bring in that offensive guy who we know is going to be around with Darnold throughout the term of their time there as head coach. But you got to get the right guy, whether it's defense, offense, special teams.
Yeah, even if they don't invest in Darnold, it means that they're going to draft a quarterback with that second pick. So you're going to have to invest in a new quarterback. Regardless, if they bring in if they're looking at a bright offensive mind, okay, but I think there's no issue with them bringing a terrific defensive coordinator and hiring a top offensive mind to work one-on-one with the quarterback, whether it be Sam Darnold or a guy they draft. The bottom line is this, as I said a couple of months ago, they're looking for that alpha dog type of coach. That is what Saleh is.
We do have an article up on ProFootballNetwork.com with Ben Albright's thoughts on Robert Saleh and the New York Jets. That over on ProFootballNetwork.com. He talks about their offensive coordinator as well. We're not going to spend any time on it here, but take a look at it. He does mention Mike McDaniel as one of the favorites for Robert Saleh's offensive coordinator position if he does land a head coaching job somewhere this circuit.